All right. Sorry for the late start. I had traffic and I was on time to be like a little late, but it ended up being really bad. Like hours bad. Like I think I was only expecting to be like 5-10 minutes late because I wanted time to eat, but it ended up being like an additional like 30 minutes late. It was not great, but it's fine. You know, like I made it. Everybody's all right. I mean, aside from the accident that started the whole thing, but you know. Well, I don't know if anybody was even hurt, but you know, you get it. Just give me a second. Let me get the music pulled up. There we go. All right, so we're back on this. Hang on. The music's a little louder for me. Just like that. Oh, I didn't even check if the audio's working on this end. Yeah, we should be good. I'm gonna put the music a little bit higher. It always feels too loud for me, but I'm also just picky. Alright, so yeah, we're gonna get right back into this drawing. I didn't spend too much time thinking about how we were gonna do the lighting, but I think we're gonna just... We already have like a pretty decent idea of what we want to do. The only thing that I did 100% conclude like over the week was that we don't need a secondary light really. So 1 second. I was doing the SpongeBob pinkies up for no reason. Okay. Hello? Don't tell me the pen's dead. Come on, we just got started, brother. I'm so annoyed now. The pen was just charged yesterday. Why is it so bad at holding a charge? Whatever. Alright. Alright. Sorry, I completely blacked out on what I was supposed to do. Here it is. I was looking for the cable. There we go. I'm gonna move the cable 1 second. Of all the things I prepared, that wasn't one of them. Oh. The tablet itself, I'm really good at charging. Like I charge this tablet like every 2 streams, every other stream. But the pen itself, I always think like, oh, you know, like I barely use the pen. But I think it still uses power even when it's not like on. So I think that's why it doesn't last for very long, which is crazy because I think like it's literally like in the description of the item that it only is using power whenever it's next to the tablet. So, you know, whenever you're like close enough for it to become active. But it does not feel like that. Sorry, I was playing with the camera again. Alright. So yeah, we're gonna be doing the shadows today. Which is essentially the lighting. It's like the half of the lighting. Lighting is, you know, like the actual area being hit by the light, colored or not. Or and then the other half is the shadows. Like they both are technically in the lighting phase. I did look at the process, and I think we're gonna stick to what I've been doing. So, what I'm probably gonna experiment with after this is I'm gonna be taking out the black and white phase, because really that only helps just like get a better idea of how I want to do the lighting. So it intentionally makes the entire process overall like a little slower. Sorry, I heard someone revving their car engine. But yeah, it kind of like sorry, the black and white phase where I turn everything into like a neutral 50% gray and then work out the shadows and lighting separately is it's helpful, but it's more just for like making sure you have like a stable idea of what you're going to be doing before you actually commit. Hang on, I'm losing train of thought because I'm trying to figure out where all the things are that I'm going to be using. It's very hard not to get frustrated whenever it doesn't work immediately. Is this all in the same layer? Yes, it is. Okay, that's what I thought. So yeah, these are the flats that we had prepared from last stream. Went over pretty easy. Video of that is now was posted yesterday. It ended up being an easy edit too because I was pretty consistent at staying mostly on topic, I think. But yeah, we're gonna be just working on the shadows and just working out a rendering. This is like the quick lighting that I have. This is basically where we're gonna follow, you know, just light coming from the right side of the face. We can try another one just to see if it would look any better. Or we could, but I don't think I will because I don't like just thinking about it right now. Like it's not gonna look great. Oh my goodness, everything is so slow in this app right now. What is happening? So I'm sorry. I keep getting distracted because the app is like slowing down and then speeding up. And also maybe the music's bothering me, but okay. So yeah, this was the secondary light that I was thinking. For whatever reason, I was really considering adding like a contrasting color. So we have the orange light over here to contrast with the bluish moonlight. Blue moonlight. I don't know why I said bluish. But I don't think it's that necessary. I think what I'm actually going to do instead is just make it so it's the exact same color as the light itself, the main light. Because it looks weird just to have like this vibrant contrast color. But as far as like helping to detail out other areas of his shape, I actually do like the idea of it. So like let me find this color. Is this the color? Hang on, it's at 30%. Let's remember that it's at normal. Okay, so it's this color over here. Put this back down to normal 30%. I did actually remember to go back and like do all the names for everything, so now everything's like organized properly. Hello? Okay, I was about to say. So if we all keep it this color, maybe turn it down to 30% as well, so it at least matches the other side. This I think is a little bit better. I like this a lot. That's not an eraser. Oop. Erase too much. So yeah, just like a little bit of glare on this side of his form, I think is actually nice. Just a little bit of like edge lighting on this side. Maybe like the light reflecting, you know, everything else across the room. Yeah, it should be good. Just a sec. Trying to think if there's anything else I gotta do before I get started. I think we should be good to start. So yeah, we're gonna what we're gonna do is turn off the flats. I'm gonna turn these off as well. I'm gonna go and merge them real quick too. Or I'm not going to do that because it's locked for some reason. Let me turn it back down to 30%. 1. There you go. All right. So we're gonna keep that in mind, and we're just gonna work from there. I'm gonna put like the black and white filter on. Is that gonna do it? I think that will help me like keep things in mind. I'm just gonna pop a layer right here. I'm gonna make it a saturation and just drop like a complete black fill. We're on an eraser. 1 second. The tool's really picky. There we go. That mostly does it. I think I'm just gonna shut off the pew cover. Or maybe make it a multiply. Yeah, that's at least like dark enough so I don't have to think about it. All right. So then we're gonna go on a layer on top, and we're just gonna fill things in. I'm gonna put it at like a just complete like as the I'm failing words. I need some coffee. I'm gonna keep it at the darkest black, possible, just neutral, 100% black. And then we're just gonna keep it on like a low opacity. That way we can tweak how dark everything is as we go along. Because if you make it like 100% dark, then you're not gonna be able to like recognize the forms underneath. Nope, not that. Yeah, we're gonna just do like the most shadowy parts. And then I'm also gonna try to keep it rough because I do want it to be not necessarily cell shading, but a little bit closer to that. I get really not annoyed, but I don't really want to do like the super well rendered look to it. I want it to still keep like almost like a cartoony anime look to everything. I'm gonna make it a multiply because it's only black and white right now. And definitely underneath his neck, it's not going to be catching a lot of light. I'll make this an overlay, that way I don't have to worry about going over the lines. I'm not sure why, but I get the feeling that this stage isn't going to take very long, and I don't want to jinx myself. I mean, I think long enough for at least 1 stream, maybe even 2. But I was worried that this stage was gonna be like super boring and take not necessarily hours, but like 3 or 4 streams. Like that's the nightmare mode whenever like a single stage or phase takes up like hours and hours of content. Like if I could just keep it to like 1 or 2 sessions, 1 maybe 2, like that's the perfect zone where it's like 1 and then like barely into a second session. Then I'm a happy lad. I can probably like, let's just keep things simple right now and let's like zoom out and just like block out like this entire area. Because also I think like reducing, what's the word? The word for whenever you're like subtractive rendering is also just as effective. That's the phrase I'm trying to say. I'm completely like lost right now because I'm not drinking my coffee. I haven't had any coffee today. Then I get confused on why I'm so like out of it right now. I did also get up a lot earlier than normal, but that shouldn't be too bad. I've had way too much sleep. I don't know why I've been so all over the place this week. What happened? Oh, I went to a comedy show this past Saturday with my brothers. One of my brother's favorite comedians, Nick Mullen, was in Raleigh. And I went to see the show, and it was actually really good. I was worried it was gonna just be like, it's kind of boring whenever you're at a comedy show and nobody likes to laugh. You know, like you just get a bunch of like empty air, and you know, it's also like really hard in comedians to keep their mood. You know, like when no one's giving them anything. That's what they call like bad crowds and everything. So I was worried I was gonna be like the entire time just like giving that, you know, like the little laugh through my nose, just like that's it, or you know, just like thinking, oh, that's funny in my head and not actually making any noise. But yeah, I was a very loud laugher. I had a very good time. Thankfully, not loud enough to really take away from the show, at least as far as I've noticed. My brother told me that somebody next to me thought I was being too loud, but I don't think that's. I don't know. Like we were like shoulder to shoulder, so I could imagine that some people right immediately next to me might not be. I don't know. Like I feel like getting mad at somebody for laughing if it's not like insane, like slapping my knee, scream laughing, just you know, like that's that kind of laughing. I've been next to people who have had like huge, like loud screams whenever they're at concerts, or even like small concerts where they're just like shrieking at the top of their lungs. I don't think I was doing that. I was giving a hearty laugh, but I don't think I was like intentionally being obnoxious. But that's just me. Like I said, like I was worried about being too quiet, if anything. But no, the jokes were really good. It was a really funny show. It was a little rambly, but he did mention that he was like intentionally like just trying out material, which I don't, you know, like that's completely fine with me. Everybody seemed really okay with him just flying by the seat of his pants. He could have also been lying, because I know that's also like part of the shtick, is like how you're like playing on the emotions as a comedian, like how you're building up anticipation. Like phrases like, so you know what would be just a crazy thought, or you know, like, you know, I just realized something, like something like that. Like that, they're not actually just realizing it, because it's part of the bit, it's part of the comedy. But I remember when I was younger, I definitely fell for that, where it was just like, oh, you know, like, I don't know, Gabriel Iglesias was saying like, I just realized, or you know, like I just thought of something. And it's like they 100% weren't just thinking of something. There's like no comedian that has like an hour-long special that hasn't already like thought about all of their material beforehand, especially for a recording. But anyways, so whether or not he was actually going off script or anything like that, I don't think it matters. You know, like it was good material otherwise. It was a little like not, I think whenever it was like some of the like lower moments, it was that like I just thought in my head that it was funny without actually making any like laughs. But I think there was definitely enough of like, you know, within the 30 minutes set, I guess it felt like 30 minutes. I wasn't checking the time. There was enough good moments where it was just honest laughter, and I thought it was great. I know my brother had a good time, because that's like his favorite comedian. The entire reason I brought up that was that's the reason I'm tired, is because I just like completely flipped over my schedule of how I sleep to fit in, you know, waking up immediately for like a 2 hour show of like a few comedians, going home, immediately falling asleep. That's what really ruined it. Whenever I got home, I just like went straight out. Like I sat down on the couch and just completely snoozed. And I was literally like talking to my family and just being like, oh no, I'm probably gonna, I'm a little tired, but you know, like I'm probably gonna go to my room and just play video games for like the next couple hours. And then, you know, like while I'm saying that, like I'm starting to lean over, then I'm out. And I was like intentionally like, oh, I'm just gonna rest my eyes, take a little nap. You know, like I told him like I wasn't gonna take a nap, but you know what? Now that I'm closing my eyes, it does feel a little nice to take like a quick like 10-minute nap. But then after like 5 minutes, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna commit to this nap. This is gonna be like an actual nap. The only issue was like I had my earrings in, and they were like earrings that I 100% was gonna lose if I didn't like put them off, put them away, because they had like little spikes on them, so like they weren't very comfortable to lean on to sleep. I have my earrings over here, and like 4 or 5 sets are just now single earrings because I keep losing the matching pair. I really, it hurts so much whenever I realize like, great, that's another set of earrings that I'm just completely not gonna be able to like wear anymore. Because some of them are just like, they don't fit with any other earrings. It's like this one right now, I have like this one's the only one that like works really well because I have a lot of silver earrings, so I just need like one calm little stud and then I can have the droop. Why? Because, I don't know, I just think the look of like having one long earring is nice. It's fun. It's like the only like reasonable dangly ones. I have like some crazy ones that I used to wear a lot, but now I've kind of like calmed down on them. Like this huge like loop spiral. That one I also thought would be fun because like my signature is very similar to that too. For me, if I mess up my sleep like one day, then the next day is also going to be a little off, and then the next day is also going to be a little off. Thankfully, like I have like an extra day this week since I asked for my Saturday off. So like I had a little bit more time to get like stable. So I think after tonight I'll be like completely stable for at least the last little day before I got to go back to work. And especially it's because like I had nothing to do this week. Like I didn't have to go get groceries. I didn't have to wash my car. Does anybody wash their car in middle of spring? Like it's gonna get dirty so quick. It's really awful. I do need to get it cleaned though, because like also like the interior has like a lot of dust and everything because like I blew my tire out like 2-3 weeks ago. I don't know how long it's been. So I do need to like actually scrub off a lot of like the dirt and everything that just got in there. Because, like we were throwing tools and like dead tires back there. This is probably going to be an area that I paint over during the last stage, where I give like a lot more like, I just go over the lines and everything. Because like the lips have like a very fun little game that they play. Like, they have like a little... there's like a little bit of a shadow right at the center of the lips where they like push towards each other to meet. So there's like a thin little bit here. Then you usually have like a prominent shadow like on this section here. But then there's also like a sliver of light that goes right across the middle because this is like the furthest part of the lip. And how much of that do you want to detail out? Like you gotta, that's maybe like the final little stage where you decide like, okay, how much effort do I want to put in the lips? Because like if you put too much of a sheen and too much like detail in it, it makes it look very prominent. Like if you put a lot of effort into the lips, people will look at the lips. It's good that you're gonna like lock onto the lips. And certain like art styles, I'm just gonna go and say it, like a lot of like hentai and like erotic art, like American erotic art even, will just put a lot of emphasis in those lips because that's one of those like key areas that people want to fantasize about. So whenever you see like a piece of art and they have like really like accentuated lips, you can kind of like, is this gonna be one of those kind of art pieces? Like is there a second page where things get a little bit crazier? It's not a one-to-one, like some people just like putting a lot of effort into the lips. But I'm just saying, like that's one of those things to keep in mind if you're like still not settled on how you want to do your art style. That's something to consider. Wait. But I want to know nothing about it. I am a saintly individual. I would never be drawn to such art. I mentioned before, I got a lot of respect for those kind of artists. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll do that. If I like make the push to like regular art and then like immediately, or sorry, if I start doing art full time as a work, because like I finally get a career, and then like the second my bills start to come up short, where I'm like, oh, this month was very good, you know, like I guess I gotta think about getting a job again. I'll probably go back and do some NSFW art before I go back into work. I mean, right now I'm fine because, you know, like this is still just part-time fun stuff. I don't really sell my art. I've sold, I think, a few pieces. I think in total I've made like $40 from actual prints of my art, which is pretty good. You know, like that shows that some people are actually enjoying it. But it's so much work. Or really, it's not. But it's like, I really hate like putting myself out there. Like I really hate like having to like think about putting myself above other people. Like I hate that idea. That's not really what's happening. You know, like you're not really putting yourself above others just by trying to sell your art. But you know, like it's almost like convincing people of something they're not gonna want. That's kind of like the entire aspect of like marketing, is that you're selling something that people don't want, or you know what they tell themselves is like they're selling stuff that you don't know you want yet, which is, you know, it sounds like horse caca to me. So that's why I kind of like I can't really get like into that idea. It's also just generally, you know, like capitalism doesn't really drive me, you know, like it doesn't really like, oh yeah, I need to sell I need to make money off of this. I don't have that thing in my brain where I need to like, what's the word, commercialize every aspect of my art or personality. I mean, even Twitch is more of like a very like light touch into that area where it's like, oh, let's commercialize maybe my personality a little bit, and just like, you know, just make a little bit of money off the personality if I can. That's more of the thing where it's like, it's if I can, you know, like if it's not too hard to build a following or, you know, like some kind of audience, then you know, like there's no problem. And also just generally like I like sharing my art anyway, so it's just like sharing my art to like a wider audience, even if there's like no money tied to it, it's just fun. Like even if there was like no guarantee of money, I still think it would be like fun to do this. Plus it does help me like actually get more practice in the digital art, because it's like some things you need to like schedule in your head mentally. Like I read a comic book at a coffee shop once every week, and just having that in my head where it's like, okay, once a week I gotta set time for going to the coffee shop, and being like very adamant about it really helps it, so like I can actually read a lot of the comics that I have like stacked up. So that's what I mean, like setting a time for things. One that I always think of, or I think a lot of more people would relate to, is reading a book before bed. A lot of people love having that like little ritual where, you know, they get in bed like 2 hours before bed and then they read themselves just for like an hour or so. I used to do that very adamantly too. I had like a couple like fan fictions that I used to read, and you know, I'd be like, okay, we read 1 chapter, you know, 2 chapters maybe, if, you know, if I'm really feeling it, and then we go to bed. And like I've read like 2 or 3 like 100+ chapter fan fictions because of that like little system that I gave myself. Now I don't so much, because, you know, like I kind of just fell out of it. I think we rendered a little bit too much, but I'm not gonna like erase anything. I think I'm just gonna might lighten up the area here a bit, the wrinkles on his forehead a bit. Especially for the smaller ones. I think the smaller ones aren't gonna get like super pronounced lighting. That's good. Nope. Then we're gonna cut a little strip out for it wrapping around his very spherical dome. Maybe a little bit of the ear catching a light. Maybe even a little bit through like the thinner parts of the ear. That's a fun little consideration once you start to like account for that in your art. It's just like where the thin parts of your skin and the more cartilage-based parts of your skin are gonna have like light just like completely coming through it. That's really like a interesting thing to play around with. Yeah, that's good. Maybe the eyebrows not properly lit. Would it just be? I think it would be just be completely shadowed, at least for this area. Although the brow does kind of push out a bit, so maybe you catch like a little bit of light here. Oh, here he comes. Yep. Every time on a schedule. At 8 o'clock he gets his ice cream, and then he comes running in here to eat it in peace. Except for the times that I shamed this dog. There's nothing wrong with him just grabbing snacks. It's just kind of goofy that he just like burst into my room, leaving the door open because he's a dog and he doesn't know anything about closing doors. Why is there a light on my microphone? Oh, I guess that's Windows' way of telling me that I have a microphone in. I mean, yeah. I can tell. I sure hope there's a microphone. That'd be crazy if I wasn't recording any of my audio. Nope. Oh, I just had a heart attack. I thought this was all on the wrong layer. I thought I was gonna have to delete all this work. I was gonna lose my mind. Like losing all this work right here, like from this stage, I would, oh my goodness. Like I'm getting mad thinking about it. This is also metal, so we're gonna bend the light a little in his eye. The only issue with making the eye metal is that it also kind of looks like glass. It kind of like takes both. They have like a very similar way of shading. It's just that the glass is a lot more reflective. But if you have like a chrome, then, you know, obviously it's going to be a little bit of both. That's good. I think that's good. Yeah, that's the issue with trying to do this in black. I don't know why I just erased that entire thing. I just forgot what I was doing. We're gonna say that this actually gets hit by a lot more light, because there's not very many areas are getting hit by light. Maybe make this just a little bit more this area of shadow just a little bit less prominent. I think maybe like right here, like this is like the halfway mark. Then we can also like cut it wherever like the pews come in from. Just like right there. And just like nothing below this area. Okay. So definitely we're gonna have like a shadow from underneath the coat. So like this area completely in shadow. With the only exception being the scarf just barely dipping out of it. Like just that area alone. So I think definitely this section is gonna be facing away from light. Maybe just like the lightest bit of the corner. And then this is also similarly, it kind of wraps around. So I think maybe just like that halfway point is about where it should stop. Again, trying to avoid like any gradients, any real gradients, trying to make it like one-to-one shadow, not shadow. But sometimes you can't help it, like at least a little. Like any kind of round surface is gonna have like some kind of gradient. But I guess then you just like taper it out with like a little bit of like this like spottier area. We're still almost one-to-one. Yep, he's still going. The very least I can do is go to 9:30, probably 10:30. I'm just putting some internal shadows, and we're gonna dial it back here. Like that. Perfect, just like that. And then the shadow creeps a little bit more over here, just a little bit further out than normal. Just like that, like a little scoop, Actually, a little bit further. Let's just go all the way right here into this little pocket. And we're gonna trim it back down. And also trim this area so it's a little bit like sharper. Just like that. Just like that. I think that's perfect. I kind of skipped past the shoulder because it's a little hard for me to figure out. Because that's the place, that's the area that's getting like blanketed in light. So I'm trying to figure out like just how we're going to do it. I think maybe a little bit more shadow here. Just like subtle, just like a little bit where it dips in and out. It probably curves towards his like neck a little bit more in this area. Maybe like here. And then here we can also push this a little further up. Just like that. Reach it down a little further. Then we can make it a little bit more subtle. Push this in. Fill that in much better. And we're gonna fill these sections in a little bit more sharper. How's that looking? Just looking okay. It's really hard to tell how the light's gonna hit something like this. Let's try pushing this a bit higher. Oop. Pushing the shadow a little higher. That's like my immediate reaction is that I need to push this higher. So something like that. Or maybe this also I need to trim a little closer. Now how's that look? That feels a lot better. I think that's probably what we're gonna work with. I think maybe just dipping this out a little further so it also follows along the same like trail. A little bit more of a curve, like a subtle curve. Because basically it's like, it's folding like this. Hold on, let me get I'm gonna just use the color to see if it actually stands out. A lot brighter. Oh, look who's finished, and now he wants out. You were just fine when you were making all that noise earlier. Now I gotta clean up his mess too later. I mean, it's clean, it's just... Anyways. So yeah, so I think this section, it's like folding up like here. I don't know why I just made one little line and thought that denoted an entire area. I mean, I think you get it, but I'm gonna make sure. So this entire chunk of the lapel, this area, I think is like going up away from the light and then down towards the light, like completely towards the light. So it definitely should be like blanketing that area a lot. But it's because of that like little curve. I could leave it completely flat and just ignore it, but I'm thinking that it just doesn't make sense for the lapel to just be completely smooth. I'm gonna keep that layer. Wait, oh, actually, let me do a circle again, and then we're just gonna turn it off. We're gonna keep that as like a guideline because I feel like I'm probably gonna use that a lot. So let me take a look at this. Is this looking right? It's so hard for me to tell. Oop. Gotta turn back to the right color. I think this probably feels the most correct to me. Yeah. And then this area also should push the shadow a little further. Like that. Perfect. That feels right. It feels very good. Then it could just like wrap around the rim of the hat just a little bit further, because it's gonna curve around like a circular object a bit. Like the same reason that the back of the head is still getting a little bit of light. It's just like a little bit of like reflective light, and then light also just like bends around surfaces a bit. Not too far. It's not like, you know, 1-to-1. Like this side is completely lit. That doesn't mean the other side is also going to be completely lit perfectly either. But there is going to be a little like sliver of like the light warping around a rounded surface, and then also reflective light. So that's also going to affect like the entire edge of his shoulder. Just like a little bit of like reflective light just bouncing off, especially because this is like very bright moonlight. It's going to really just like reflect off a lot of surfaces. Moon, like a full moon, is crazy bright. Like adds like a little bit of magic to everything. Like I feel like I'm probably saying like a very obvious thing, but yeah, like whenever it's like the comparison between like a regular night to like a complete full moon is crazy, like the level of difference, because you just get like this huge spotlight in the sky. So everything has like a little magical edge lighting to it. So yeah, we're gonna get like a little bit of edge light all the way down. Not very much below him. I think it's very much towards the top of him. That's probably like the extent of it, how far it goes. Yeah, trim that off a little bit. It's a little bit too bright in that area. It's also getting a little confusing because the pew in the background, and for some reason this has like a gap. Let me just like fill that in. Right there. And I'm gonna go off of a wing. I'm pretty sure this is just like completely shadowy. There we go, perfect. Just fill all that in. So we don't have to worry about it at all. Back to black and white, because we only have a filter that's like turning all the background black and white. All right, so this isn't too bad so far. I think as far as the chest goes, maybe like right here is around where his chest would start rounding. This is around where it starts rounding, round. I'm losing my mind, sorry. Let me go back to the guide real quick. Ooh, that looks nice. So we are cutting a little bit further than we intended to, but we're gonna keep going through with it just to see how far it goes, like if it looks any good by the end of it. Like if it ends up being too shadowy, sorry, not too shadowy, but more shadowy than I'd prefer, then I might push the light a little bit further forward. So what I'm trying to say is like let me see, let me turn this off. So right now we have it so like the light seems like it's coming from, I'm gonna erase this. We almost have it like the light is coming from this area, like behind him mainly, like a little bit towards him, like a little bit like right here. But the light should maybe be a little bit further forward, is what I'm trying to say. So right now we have it here. This is pretty good. I think this is like a good amount of light on him. Like it's dynamic, you know, like it's got a little bit of, it'll give him like a little bit of the edge light, a prominent sharp spot that's going to attract a lot of attention towards this side of the face and this side of the shoulder, but keeping him mostly shadowed and, you know, like foreboding. You know, Vampire the Masquerade, we want a dramatic light, we want it to be very mostly shadowed, and most of the vampires to be like obscured by shadow, almost supernaturally, but it's more of just like they keep the shadows for a good reason, you know, like they can't be out in the light, literally, you know, like they literally can't be out too close to the sun and everything. I kind of just have like this idea of like most of them just like to stick in shadows, dark rooms, dark buildings, with maybe exceptions to like, I don't know, Ventru who might love the prominence. Nosferatu for sure, like I think Nosferatu for sure like to be in the shadows. Most of them, most vampires generally like being in the shadows. And then the further you go towards like the glitzier, glamorous types, like the Ventru, maybe like more glamorous Toreador, because they can kind of go any direction. You know, they can go tortured artists who are going to be in shadowy areas. Then there's going to be like socialite Toreadors who really love like being the center of attention in the light, you know, like with everybody seeing. I mean, Ventru too as well. There's definitely Ventru who like to be more of the shadowy back area power. You know, these are just trends that I like to have in my head rather than hard set rules. Like you can have Ventru who like to just stick into the shadows. They're they should still be very prideful. Like, you know, like maybe like a king of thieves, I guess, as far as Ventru, where they don't actually go out in public and they just have their underlings do all the work. But they still like have some sort of pride to their name. So if like somebody's using their name in somebody who isn't them is using their name, then they're probably gonna, you know, like confront them about it. You know, they're gonna get in a lot of trouble. Sorry, I'm trying to do like the little special little something on these on this like I don't know what to call it, bevel. It looks like a bevel, but I don't know if that's like the term that you use for like just like a decorative stitching. And it's not necessarily like a stitching; it's more like a fold. Oh, what is it called? Whenever you have like your suit pressed, there's like a word for that kind of fold. Hold on one second. Crease, that's what it's called. Kind of like the tone of this voice, but it is kind of weird that it's kind of like grunting in my ear. There we go. As long as it like tunes in and out, that's fine. Trying to think of how I'm gonna do the lighting in this area, because he's getting this area of his like upper abdominal, so like right at like the edge of the rib cage. It's catching a little bit of light from above, you know, like where it's like hitting normally. But it's also getting some from underneath the arm. So hold on, maybe that's what I'm missing. I need to think about where the arm is, like where the cast shadow from the arm is gonna be. So almost like just like before, we got like a little bit of edge light on this side. It's kind of like wrapping around the arm, although it should definitely be more subtle. So I'm definitely pushing it a little bit too high. I think that's enough. But on this side, we're actually like still catching the light like directly. It's just like peeking from underneath the arm. But only to like this area, because then it gets cut off by the pews. I'm wondering if it would catch over here a little bit. Can I make that work? Just like a little peek of it over there as well. Yeah, it looks a little funky. I'm gonna over erase it, and then we're gonna fill it right back in and give it more of like a sharp, you know, where the pews stop hitting it. Yeah, I can definitely tell we're probably like making this a little bit too much shadow, because he's getting like no light on like 90% of his body. Yeah, we're probably gonna have to move this a little bit forward. So let me move the light to like right here. That's not an eraser. Wait, what? Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. So maybe a little bit more towards here, which makes more sense because like there's like several windows that he's getting light from. So let's see. Let's erase this. Oop, that's not an eraser. There we go. So, you know, like he's getting a little bit of light from here, a little bit of light from here, a little bit of light from here, a little bit of light from here. I think this is maybe a better way to think about it. Because, you know, there's several windows. I mean, realistically, they're all like going straight, but like because you would, you know, like it's a light source, so like a lot of it, he would be catching it from like all the windows. At least a little bit. Like the closer it is towards like actually, you know, in line with him, you know, like this one would probably be the strongest directly on his left, but he'd still catch a little bit of light from the window just a little bit further out, a little bit less from here. Like let me thin him out a little bit so I can tell you so you can see what I'm trying to tell you. So like he catch like a tiny little bit from here, like the tiniest little bit from here. He would catch like a little bit more from here, so it'd be a little bit thicker. Then here would be probably like the last one before the direct light. So you can't really tell on this one. Let me make it a little bit thicker. So this one would be like a little bit more. This one will be a little bit more. And then this one's where he's catching like all of it. Like this is the big one where he's catching like a really hard bit of light. if that makes any sense. Okay, so that's the thinking. So we're probably gonna cast a little bit more light. So we're gonna go a little bit more. Let me turn this off. See the guide? Yeah. You can see like the light. That originally the hat was supposed to be catching a lot more light. Like even his hand was catching a little bit of light. But yeah, I knew this was probably coming anyways. That's why I wasn't getting like too locked into what I was doing. All right, we kind of like all decided it on this right here, this like little area right here, because I was having trouble, so I just tried to simplify it, and then that's where the issues came in. Oh, 1 second. Oh, my knuckles. Oh, popping my bones, or technically my joints, if you want to be accurate. All right, so now changing things up, he's gonna be catching light up towards the front too. At least to like right here. It sucks to like erase a lot of this like detailing that I've been doing, but it's what we got to do. So instead we're gonna catch like right here. I think that's about as far as it goes. And then I'm gonna also try to make like a little slice where the fuse is gonna hit it. So if we're thinking of it like here, it's gonna be like right here, like right there. Like all this is just gonna be shadow, and then maybe like a little bit of like light stretching around it, like I mentioned before. Light kind of just wraps around surfaces. Ooh. I started shaking the entire desk for some reason. But before I get any deeper, I want to make sure I get this part too. So the arm is still going to be casting a shadow, but it's going to be like right here. Like right there. Going to curve everything a little bit because it like try to get like the angle where the light's hitting it a little bit more noticeable. You can already see like I'm going to make little cutouts here where it like dips into the cloth and it has more of like an internal shadow. Internal shadows are interesting. So internal shadows are shadows that should exist no matter really where the light source is going to be. So, you know, areas where really no lighting unless direct lighting is going to hit it. So like I mentioned it before, underneath the neck is usually internally shaded always, because unless it is directly in, you know, right underneath like the jaw, right underneath right in line with the neck, there's going to be something casting a shadow. Either the collarbone is going to cast shadow, the collarbone and the chest is going to cast a shadow over the neck, or the chin is, you know, that's usually what it is. The chin and jaw is going to be casting shadow over the neck. So like those are like areas that are just going to get shadowed in no matter what. When it comes to here, it's more like pockets of cloth, where it's like this little pocket right here. We're going to say, for example, this one would be one that's very easy to do internally shade, because it's, you know, like no matter where the light source is, unless it's directly centered on this area right here, it's probably going to get hit by here. So like if it's coming from the left, I'm going to use this in color now. If the light's coming from, I'm going to use another layer. If the light's coming from here, or let me do it like this. If the light's coming over here, then this part's going to get hit, and this part's going to get hit, but there's still going to be a shadow between these two layers, because, you know, there's that little pocket. If it's coming from the other direction, which it basically is, it's going to get hit here, then there's the pocket, and then it's going to be lit on this area. So no matter which way, some areas are just going to have shadows no matter what. So internal shadows, that's a very fun little thing to keep in mind. Again, like unless it was like perfectly centered to only hit this area, which is, you know, like very difficult to what's the word? Isolate. So if we curve this a little bit more towards the face, it's probably not going to catch like any shadow in this area. Like this would probably be all. Maybe like a little dip here. But even then, not too much. Just like a little dip. Little trim. A little bit of the trim. We're gonna work out the last little bit of details here in the face and the beard, but we're gonna do that later. I'm trying to just like focus on the general shading. Then we can get a little bit more texture and everything. I'm doing texture as I go along if I can. Like how I did with the metal eye. Like I did that just like on a whim because I knew it wouldn't take too long. Got a bad habit of switching sugary stuff. I shouldn't do that. That one's not sugary. I lied, it has 4 grams of sugar. Okay, we're gonna use water. Sugar isn't super bad for your teeth so long as you actually like wash it out almost immediately. It's when it sits there for any longer than, you know, like a few seconds that it becomes like a real issue. Like if you're not like, if you just drink soda and just don't rinse at all, then it becomes really bad for your teeth. Because then you're just gonna like literally sit there for hours with maybe even like a thin film of it there. A thin film of like sugar. You know, maybe not like all of it, you know, like maybe not pure sugar, but there'd still be like a little bit of it. Just your little dentist advice that no one asked for. That's the issue with sugary gums too, where it's just like, it's not a ton of sugar, but because it's just like a little thin film of sugar, that's just gonna sit in your mouth for like the hour or so that you chew on a piece of gum. I don't know how long, the 5 seconds that you have of gum flavor, it's gonna like, you know, rot it all during that time. Or what is it? It's acid, so it'd be like burning, I guess. It's not rotting. Anyway, it's not the point. I don't know why I'm talking about teeth. This is an art program, not a dentistry program for somebody who doesn't even have a degree in dentistry. I have a degree in IT. Sorry, I think the sound effects in the song is confusing me. I thought there was I heard a rat. I've never seen a rat in real life, and I'd probably scream. Again, nobody asked, but I'm just telling you guys right now. I've thankfully never had a deal with a rat. Yeah, I'm trying to get this little sliver of light right, just right. One second. Hang on a second. There was like a half second where I pushed away my mic. You could see like my eyes about to explode. No, I don't got a second one. Wait. No. Oh, that sucks. That really sucks. I hate that. I hate that. Let me experiment real quick. Probably not gonna keep this. I just want to see what it looks like. No, that wasn't right. Interesting. Okay, that was just a little experiment. Hang on 1 second. Sorry, 1 second. I had to wipe my nose. Oh, that completely ruined the overlay. That's annoying. Why am I so washed out right now? Oh, I guess it was always like that. I am just pale. Sorry, 1 second. I'm trying to look up anything about like internal shading to make sure that I didn't just make up rules in my head. I actually can't find anything about internal shading now that I look at it. I know I've seen it before. It's just like a very like basic level of shading. Maybe I'm just calling it the wrong thing. Interior shading? Sorry, just a second. I'm just trying to figure out if this is actually a thing. This is something I'm gonna have to edit out. Just a random long pause for no reason. Bah, I can't find it. I'm sorry. I got distracted and then I have nothing to show for it. Alright. Back to shading. Sorry, sometimes I lose my mind whenever I get too focused on one little subject. And we're just gonna trim these to be a lot more subtle. There we go. And that's not an eraser. No. Sorry, I'm just playing around with the, like, lighting in that area. See what works and what doesn't. Okay. Oh, I'm getting lost again. I can already feel it. Just a little bit, just like a tiny little scuffle of shadow here. Maybe like the smallest little bit of a fold that goes away from the light. Just to add like a little bit more depth to it. I remember this on like one of my other drawings. I think like the last one, the Romeo, he had like just like a small little crease within his lapels as well, that I really liked. Okay. That's interesting. And then maybe what if I do a little bit of here? Sorry, I'm getting really quiet because I'm trying to like focus on thinking what am I doing? Sometimes if I like really like lock in trying to figure out what I'm doing, especially if it's like something that's like give me a little bit of trouble, that's where I like really lock in. Because I'm trying to think like what is giving me trouble. You know, how far can we push it before it starts to look like too shadowy? It looks like it's not working in the lighting that we have. I'm probably not going to keep any of this, but I'm just tweaking. Sorry, I'm trying to take some time to like just look. Because in my head, this all makes sense in like a web, but it's just not looking right. Which means it's fine. You know, like it's like I said, it's just me experimenting at this point for this little area. How thin can we make this before it's like completely useless? Yeah, I think that's about where we got to stop it, right there. I do think this shadow right here was a good idea though. Like right where it starts to like curve towards the hat, because like it kind of gives like the impression that it's like pushing down on it. And then also just like generally, it's like even if there isn't any shadow, it just looks a little nicer with a little bit of shadow there. You know, like it's just like style wise, but like it still fits in within the, like the lighting. But I think the other one just looks a little too shadowy, especially like compared to all the other area around it. I think maybe I'm wondering if like maybe this should cast a little bit of a shadow, like maybe just like a very thin one. Maybe just like right down towards here. Just trim that off, make it like real thin. Just like that. Yeah, real thin. That's perfect. I feel like that's the one. Maybe we can even do that a little bit here, just like a tiny little thing. And here I also want to do like a little bit of an internal shadow because it's like lifted surface, because it's like it's just like a decorative I don't know what to call it, not stitching, but like a decorative little panel of cloth that goes over the chest, so it's a little bit thicker up here, so it casts just the slightest bit of shadow from everything underneath it, so you can tell like it's like a separate level. Then also probably one along the stitch line, because that's like where it's being like pushed into the two panels are being pushed into each other. There's probably also like a glue on it too. Or some other kind of like seal that like pushes the two like panels of cloth together. Just like that. And just right there. We're gonna definitely thin that out though. What if I keep it like a continuous line? How does that look? I didn't get enough time to look at it before I started erasing. It's a little too strong. I think maybe towards the edges like this. Like as it curves away from the light, then it gets like a little bit more prominent, but as it's like being hit directly with the light, we don't have to worry about it. I think that's a good little balance. Same probably with this section here on the little crease. Like just a little bit more prominent as you go away from the light. How did I do it on the original sketch? I think I just shadowed that entire area in. I mean, it doesn't really hit the light. Oops. Let's put it above the flat. Yeah, that looks nice. Just a fun little test real quick. Okay. I think this entire area, would it be hit by the light? I think maybe it would be shadowed. Okay, so maybe like that. And then like a little bit of this upper bit getting a light from this side. I don't know, it's hard. Let me also just like cut out a little bit for the fingers. If the light's heading from forward to the right, so definitely that area, maybe even a little bit further, like here, and then it would like slowly transition off from that area. Maybe like a little bit of a hard edge here, because like that's gonna be like the direct where the knuckles like push out a bit, but then it kind of like settles a little bit more smoothly, like that. And then maybe I think the absolute like last little point is like just a tiny little bit of light hitting here. Just a tiny bit, like even just like smaller. There we go. I think that's as basically as like as far as the light extends to. And I'd even probably make it even less on the back of the hand. But then as far as the hat, maybe like, see.
Ladies and gentlemen.
So definitely that part of the hat's getting hit. Hold on, one sec. Where's the light come from again? Put it back on the guy. It's coming back from the right and definitely more towards the front. So how would this hat get lit? Oop. I guess more like here? Or maybe the opposite. It would be lit like on this side. Like that. Sorry, 1 second. Maybe I need to look at a fedora real quick to get a sense of how like light hits it. Why is there a Fedora Linux? So it is like a Y. I got that right. What's it called? Fedora Sketchfab. Sketchfab is like a 3D software that you can easily use this like on a browser. So does Sketchfab have like a default lighting? Like, does it have like a light? Yes, but it's I don't think you can move the lighting at all. Hello? What just happened? Where did the guide go? That's a trebly. Did I ever think fedoras were cool? I think it did for like a month, but it very quickly became a meme. There we go. 3-finger drag, Alt, left mouse button. Okay. There we go. So if it has like a similar lighting. Okay, I see. Okay, yeah, I got it now. Okay, so the light would basically be within this pocket, but there'd be like a little rim to it, so you'd almost like a fold like this. I might need to edit the line art in order to get it right. But basically there'd be a pocket where the light's hitting it. Sorry, I'm looking at another example. Yeah. I'm gonna edit the line art a bit. Let's see if that'll cause any issues. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. I'm gonna turn off this. I'm gonna grab the liner color. Then we're gonna grab the, where's the line art? Right here. Where's the, there it is. So basically it has like a little scoop. Right there. Okay, and then be a little ridge where it pushes back up. Like there's gonna be like an imaginary shadow line here too. It was almost like 3 ridges. Like these are the like little pockets where it digs into the cloth. Like this is where it like digs into the cloth, and then it like bounces back out towards this centerpiece here. But that's just me drawing out like the lines. Actually, I'm kind of want to keep it a little bit more implied, so I'm gonna just like erase it a little bit. Just like as soon as it starts to curve away, then we can like leave it a little bit more subtle, just like that. I think that's perfect right there. Oop, that's an eraser. A little bit here. Right there. All right, that's enough editing the line art. So we're gonna go back, pop that in. Now you can see it a little better where we're gonna have to go. So we're gonna go back to the complete black. Then we're gonna fill this in. Ooh, what's going on? Oh, we're on the wrong layer. Right there. So that's gonna be dark because that one's being pointed against away from the light. I'm gonna do like here too. These like 2 little areas. I'm actually gonna fill that in a little bit more too. Just like this entire section actually. Right there. And then this is gonna be lit like this. There we go. And then, let me see. So that would definitely be in shadow, right here. Where the heck is the front of that? There it is. I think this is the front of that. No, wait, what? No, this makes no sense. This is a terrible render. I think that's why I'm having an issue. There we go. That's the one. Yeah, this one has a lot more sharp shadows. Okay. I'm looking at like a 3D model off screen. I'm just wondering how far do we want to go? Because now that we've established that this is like a round area, like do we want to just like stop here? Yeah, we could leave that there. Maybe just like a little bit of a rounding here. Maybe a little bit darker here, or larger here. Because I would have like a larger cast shadow. I'm gonna thin out this side a little bit more so it's a little bit more noticeable that it's favoring a side. Just like that. I think that should be good as far as like the lighting on that area. Oh goodness, that took way too much effort. But eventually, sometimes you just gotta call in a reference just to like help you figure out those like more complex lighting areas, more complexly lit areas. All right, so now let's do the fingers. So the fingers should be entirely lit, I think, at least towards this front area. I'm thinking maybe the very, very, very tips of the fingers are getting a little bit of shadow, because they are pushing into like a shadowy area away from the light. So maybe just like the tips of the fingers like this, but then like a hard edge on whenever they like start pointing towards the light again. Then we could do like little pockets between the fingers to separate them a bit more. Then the ring is gonna have to be lit differently. There you go, that's looking pretty nice. I think just the gap here in between the fingers is gonna be a little, trying to think of how to do that is to make sense with the lighting. Maybe like here? Maybe just fill that entire part in. Just like that. A little bit more here. Maybe a little bit more on the edge of the hand. Just like that. Trying to get in between like the little gaps where it's like a lot deeper into the skin. Like just like maybe just some lighting on the veins that are like popping out towards the light again. Just like adding depth to everything. All the different like layers of like veins, tendons. Hang on, I'm getting distracted. See, if the light's hitting him from above and from the side and from the front. Let's see, probably would get lit. Hold on 1 second. I have a light right here. Hang on 1 second. Let me borrow this. Borrow? It's mine. This is the wrong hand. I hope I'm not flashing you in the camera. With the light, not the other kind of flashing. Okay, I see. Oh, how did that change the lighting on the camera, by the way? It's a little brighter. That's fine. Sorry, the glare on my TV is actually kind of blocking things now. Man, this is really tough. I think it'd be segmented like that, because the finger's like pointing is like so separated. How does it look from far? I think that should be fine. I think that's okay. But just in case, hold on one second before I like really settle on it. What if we just simplify it? Is that gonna be weird? Just like keep it simple. Is that gonna look weird? No, I think that's fine. Maybe the shadow should reach a little bit more here. Just a little bit thinner. Like it's not getting direct light. Then just like a tiny little cut here. Nah. Well, yeah, that's good. I'm fine with that. Oop. Oh, I think whenever I went to Raleigh to watch the comedy show, also I guess NC State won a game. I don't know if they did, but goodness gracious, the traffic out of there was awful. Like there was people like running out of their cars to scream and dance and just all this stuff, and I'm like, oh god. I mean, part of me is just jealous because I don't watch sports, but they seem like they're having fun. But also, goodness gracious, it's just a game. It's just a game. I mean, I've watched like a sports game or two and like gotten hyped over teams that I have known nothing about, but it's not that big of a deal. I'm trying to think of like situations where I would get that excited. But like even like video games, I guess, like whenever they're announced, I get pretty excited, but I'm like, oh my god, did you hear about blah blah blah? And then that's pretty much it. Like once I get like that initial little oh whoa, that's it's out of my system. But I guess I'm just being like a hater. That's fine. It happens. I happen to hate from time to time. I remember when I said this is definitely just going to be 1 or 2 sessions. I mean, I actually still think we're on track to just doing 1 or 2 sessions. Because I still got like another hour in me. Like maybe even like we can do. Let me not make promises I can't keep. But after this, I would start splitting things up into like flats or into gradient maps. Then we would do the background. So once we get the gradient maps of the shadows and everything, we're gonna do like quick like gradient maps that are, you know, maybe not 100% what we're gonna keep by the end of it. Then we're gonna have to think about the lighting, and by the time we get to lighting, we need to have like a background so we know what the colors are gonna be. So that's why I do light the background before the lighting. We can do the shadows like on its own because this is like, you know, like a little bit of lighting, a little bit of shadows. This is just the stage where I decide where the lighting's gonna hit. But the actual lighting stage is when I'm gonna have to think about what color of lighting is gonna be hitting. Because, you know, it's not going to be a pure white light, and, you know, there's going to be a lot of atmosphere that I have to account for too. So something I'm considering is maybe later down the line just skipping this section where I flat things out with black and white, and just going right into like a colored shadow. I think that's a pretty, you know, like I think it has to do with like that more rendering style where I just go over my line art and just like paint over lines and then only keep like some lines here and there. I think that it has to do with that too, where like I need to get towards, or need to isn't the right word, but I'm thinking about getting more towards the stage where I can just go right from sketch to just like going in for the colors. Because like a lot of what's slowing me down are just like steps to like refine and refine and refine, or not even refine. It's more like do things piece by piece, so I can like see what I'm doing, you know, section by section. And I think if I just do them all a little bit more by like the seat of my pants, just like going in and then, you know, molding it, I think that's gonna be maybe make the pieces a little bit quicker. There's like different techniques that I could apply. Like what I've been doing a lot on my tablet art, my Procreate art, is doing a lot more just like single layer stuff. And it's not just one layer and that's it. It's more like a big reduction in the amount of layers I do. Instead of doing like one for, you know, line art, one for the sketch, one for the paint, one for or the colors, one for the lighting, one for the shadows, I'm actually just doing like the sketch, line art, and then just immediately going into render. I might do like one layer of like a quick render where just to show what the colors are going to be and decide that. And then I'll do one where I'm just like painting right on top of everything. Like I'll paint over line art, I'll paint over this and that. And that's also interesting too, because you get a lot of like less little straggly lines where you can tell like it's the color bleeding through the line art if the line art's too thick and bold. Because you want a little bit of line art, but sometimes the line art isn't perfect, you know, like I don't have like a very consistent line art. And you know, that's also like I don't want it to be like super perfect either. So it's just something to consider. I'm thinking of just going a little bit more into like a painter direction rather than, you know, almost like a strict comic book layout where you get the inks. You do the sketch, someone else does the inks, somebody else does the color. Like where it's like everything's in separate layers. Just going for like one big, you know, like layer where everything's kind of just like worked out then and there. I think it would at least be an interesting experiment. You know, it might, you know, like sometimes you do have to do like a separate layer just for like effects. Like if you want like a shining light that, you know, from only one certain angle, and you don't want to destroy any of what you got underneath just in case that lighting doesn't work out, you know, that's when you use like an additional layer. Or you're trying to get like a special effect, like one of the blending modes, like a multiply blending mode, you know, like a screening effect. It's just stuff like that. Like then you can pop out an additional layer. So that's it's not like a strict only one layer kind of thing, but more of like focus on rendering and using as a few layers as you really need. And I think especially like getting out some more like sketchier stuff that way would be very good for the process. And like actually being able to learn instead of everything being like this really nice, neat finished piece. Because I mean, one that I was working on was literally like, okay, let's just draw a person's head and their face and just, you know, like focus on lighting for a bit, you know, focus on coloring the face and the skin. And it's turned into this hugely complex piece that's going to take a long time for me to finish. But it's going to look good. It's just, you know, like I'm kind of thinking to myself, like, what is wrong with me that I can't just like stick to one tiny little subject that's easy to do in like a couple hours. Like here's one that I got working on. I'm not sure how it's going to show up on the camera. It's way too bright. Hold on, let me turn the brightness all the way down. Is that too low? It's actually not bad. Yeah, no, that's perfect. That's weird. But yeah, it's gonna be like this piece where it's like a bunch of tentacles. Because I was like, okay, let's do a face, but let's not just do a face. I wanted it to be a little bit conceptually interesting. So I thought, oh, what if he's falling into something? Oh, what if he's falling into like a mass of tentacles? Because, you know, tentacles are kind of creepy, and, you know, it's got like that nasty little feeling where it's like you start feeling tentacles on yourself when you see like a character that's being wrapped in tentacles. Your like mirror neurons are just like, what if I was this character? You know, like what would that feel like? Would it feel good, nice? Would it feel strangely nice? Would it be completely horrifying? You know, just stuff like that. I just realized something. What about if the light is coming from this way? Let's go for the little guide. I think around here the lighting should be cutting in. So from here you should be able to see light. That's something to consider. Although it is getting weaker, so we can maybe do like a little bit of lighting, like just like right there. I think that's gonna be good. Also, it's probably one of those areas where it's like I could add more lighting here technically if we want to keep things realistic, but a little bit of stylistic choice where probably no lighting on his crotch. You know, would it realistically have like I don't know, like a light or two hitting it? Probably, but I think we don't really have to if it's not gonna like make the piece look any better. Because at the end of the day, you want the piece to just look good. You know, you don't want it just to be realistic. Or maybe you want it to be realistic. You know, definitely different art styles. Like hyper realists obviously are going to do what looks right, no matter what, even no matter if it looks goofy. So be it in that case. 1 second. I'm gonna fill in this little gap area too. I'm just gonna fill all this area in. There we go. A little too much there. There we go. Go back up to the regular layer. Go back to the right color, which is no color. It's a value. So where did I say? Yeah, like right around the belt. We can have like a hard line here. just like slice it right there. So then it would still be hitting like it would normally. But then again, like I said, it's not gonna be like very strong by this point, so we probably don't have to go like too much. I think here, because like it's gonna be like a silver watch, so it's gonna be very reflective. Maybe a little bit on this like nice leather, a little bit on the jacket, like just like a little bit. Like maybe just like a little divots there and there. That's probably like all we can do. I like this song. It reminds you like old school hip hop beats, which I think is the point. Like almost like the entire point of this like music genre, chill hop. This song very much reminds me of Nujabes. Which is very much a compliment. I really love Nujabes. Nujabes was also one of those people that I found back in like 2016 when I was in like high school, and I was trying to look for like relaxing music to listen to while doing homework. Flying Lotus was like the big one, and then Nujabes was the other one. I think it was just like that YouTube algorithm hitting me, just like you're in the right spot. Wait, where does the light start again? Okay, right there. It's not looking too right, but I'm gonna keep going and just see how it goes. Just see where we end up. There we go. Wait, how's the pews are positioned more like that? Yeah, that's not looking too right. Let's just keep going. We can always just douse it all back into black and shadow later. Now, if I want to be cheap, I could just be like, oh yeah, there's a gradient. I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think we're just gonna cover that all in shadow. And then maybe just add a little bit of gleam on the button. Cheap wasn't the right word, but that's what I decided to use. There we go. Trying to give it more of a shiny look so it can match with the other one down there. There we go. And then let's see. Making that thinner. Then what if I bring up the lightness here again? Ooh. Tiny, 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 tiny. No, it would still kind of cover that area, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would basically like wouldn't touch that arm again until like it reaches the hand. But then the hand is like all the way down here, so you really wouldn't notice it at all. I think I just want to shrink this also. The belt buckle, like it's only getting hit by the top. I'm getting pretty tired, so maybe like 10, 15, 10, 30-ish. But I think we can probably finish all the shading by then. Or maybe not, actually. Look, there's a lot to finish. I gotta, let's see. Oop. I'm gonna erase this whole section because we're not really gonna use this much anymore. This one anymore. Let's see. Didn't mean to make that noise. Let's see. Manly voice. Let's see. I gotta refine this area. I gotta refine. Is this the same layer? Yes, it is. So we gotta do that layer. I gotta refine this area. And also a little bit more here. So we got like 3 pretty decent sections to fill out. Plus, I guess here too, but that's not gonna be too bad. Actually, let's keep that there. Could still be useful. All right, but we're gonna keep working. So maybe just like this last like 40 minutes. Maybe I'll get it done. We'll just have to keep working. Just don't think about it. Just keep working. Okay. All right. I think that's pretty much good in that area. I can't really think of anything to put in this like little corner. I think it'd just be brightly lit, and that's about it. And same here. Oop. I think maybe the light would maybe cast a shadow like by there. Right about there. Yeah, I think that's good. So the chest I definitely wanted to like push out a bit. Maybe the jacket I can actually, because I thought this was like almost like a muscle here, like his rib cage. But now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure this is actually just the jacket, like, because I remember now that we actually made him a lot chunkier. So we can actually probably make this like real slim too, like this like shadow line. Make the jacket like look a little tighter to his skin, just a little. Like we don't want him to be like bulging. We don't want him like hilariously or comically fat or anything. There we go. trying to like what's the word? Imply that his head is casting a shadow. But now that I'm remembering, if it's again coming from the front, we gotta, you know, go back to the drawing board on how to do the shadow. So it'd more be like it'd more be like right here. Let's erase this whole section. I'm just gonna erase all this area. Then we're gonna just draw out start from the skull and then go from there. Or the head. Sorry, Jesus, I don't know why I called it a skull. Like he's not even a human being. I mean, it's a drawing, but you get the point. Wait, let me think. From this angle, the light would be casting his ear, basically. Oh, not even then, because it would almost be entirely. It'd be like the edge of the cheekbone, like right there. That's where it's stopping. Or that would be like the shadow that's cast, like just like the brow, the cheekbone, down, and that's it. Just like that. Oop. Then I'm gonna add like a little streakiness to it to like imply the beard. And then maybe like the glasses. Right there. That's as much as we're gonna apply in that section. And then also I'm gonna add like a little bit of a cut here. Or yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it like that actually. I like the way it looks there. Oop. Then definitely a shadow here, where the coat is casting a shadow. This would probably be like the largest area because it's like lifting off of the neck lifting off of the chest or lifting off the shoulder. I forgot what area I was trying to talk about. Pretty well here. Some very nice little cut in that section. Maybe just like a little further for this little indentation between these two folds. Just like a little bit like that. We're gonna trim that down to like a sharper point. Tiny brush, tiny brush. There we go. That's what we want. Okay. Whew. And here, I'm gonna like trim this off entirely, and we're gonna think a little bit harder about how far it should reach. Hang on a second. Let me just try one thing before I move on for this little corner. Nah. I'm gonna keep that, and I'm just gonna erase this. What we're going to do instead, actually, is we're just gonna add like a light in that section. So I'm forgetting that there's actually gonna be like a third shade. You know, where we add this section, so we can just have like an additional like colored light coming across the coat, the little edge of the coat there. So we don't have to worry about it not being in shadow and having to like trim it out. Hair usually ends up being like kind of transparent in shadows, unless it's like a real like big bulk of hair like on your head. Usually like the very edges of your hair will just look almost like transparent. So you'll have like a vague little ghost of hair instead of like a full lock of hair. Like instead of a solid little section of hair here, it'd probably be like here, and then like everything else around it would be like very thin and ghostly. As far as like shadows go. So how far does it reach here? I think maybe like right here. And also like a shadow from the hat. So like just like that. Just like a little carved out piece. Oop, wrong one. Trim that little bit out. And sharpen this piece up. There we go. And also like a little shadow from this section too. Because the light's basically hitting like directly against that, so maybe not too thick though. Like that. Then from here, we're just gonna connect like all the top sections here. Like, cause from here we're basically like doing lighting in reverse. Because the light's actually hitting from more like below. Not necessarily below, like, but I think you get what I'm saying. It's hitting right after it turns around the shoulder. It's like, here's the curved part, but this section right here is like right after it like stops hitting it. That's the section that's getting hit by the light. If it was below, then it'd be like right here. That's where the lighting would hit. So if we had like a light beneath him, it'd be hitting like, you know, here, 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 here. It's kind of like you have to keep like a mental image of which sections are being pushed away from the subject, as far as like clothes and lighting. I'm getting lost. What am I doing here? Oop, that's not black. There we go. Be like a sharp cut there. I think that's about where the light would stop. Technically this would be more of a third shade where it'd be like gray here in between these two, because it's not like leading directly away from the light, but it's not strong enough towards the light to like really get hit. But again, I'm trying to like reduce like any kind of like gray areas. Like it's just very like either hit by the light or not hit by the light in this section of the drawing for me, in this like stage of the drawing. Ooh, yeah, we could probably finish this by 10:30. We're nearly there. We got a lot of the big sections filled out that I was worried about, which was the abdominals and the this other shoulder here. We could probably keep it like there. I think there's not much else I gotta add in this section. Ooh. Maybe just like clean it up a little bit more. Now technically there'd be maybe like a little bit more of a transition. Almost like a gradient. And I might still include the gradient because I don't want to like, I don't think I need to completely remove gradients. Like one that I can immediately think of, like that's gonna be easy, is a multiply purple. Make sure it only hits the character. Then just grab the gradient tool from below, up. Like this is an easy way to just like shade a character and keep the focus on his face. Purple is just an easy one to use because it's like the opposite color of the lighting, which is usually like a yellow sunlight. In this case, the opposite would be orange. So we should probably actually think more of a brown shadow, which is ugly to think about, but it'll probably work. Just trust. I'm gonna do this pop again. Make it multiply. There you go. So you get a little bit of that brown color. Then you put in the lighting. There you go. You got a nice little contrast. And it's more of like a dark brown color because it's being used as a multiply layer. But anyways, that's just like for later on. I'm gonna finish this. Focus. So something that I'm going to do probably later on, if I remember, I might keep this just so it helps me remember, is add a little bit of a gleam from his glasses, like in the shadows, because it's gonna be like peeking through. So it's gonna do like a weird, like a little effect where it kind of like concentrates on specific corners of it. It's just a weird effect. Hold on, let me see if I can get it. Lighting, spectrum through glasses. Or it's lighting, the word is, I just saw it, diffraction. Through edge of glasses? If I can find a good picture, I'll show it. 1 second. We're on a research bench. I keep using colors, but I'm looking for just like clear glasses. Basically what I'm talking about is if you have like lights that come in at an angle from your glasses, then it kind of like disperses it on the other side, kind of like a prism, like, you know, the Pink Floyd album thing. But I'm getting like really extreme examples where I'm really just thinking about like just a light little fluttering basically, because it's not super strong unless you're like getting a light directly into your glasses. And you know, the other side is also not lit at all. Like it's a completely shadowy room or a completely black room. Maybe dispersion is the right word. Eyeglasses. Oh, I put sunglasses. Eyeglasses. It's gotta be like some like amateur photographer who like didn't edit it out. Amateur isn't even the right word. I guess like more natural artist, natural photographer. Just give me like 2 seconds to look this up. I promise I won't like stay on this for too long. All right, yeah, I'm not finding it. The issue is that most of the time in photography, it looks like they use like glasses without lenses. That way, like, there's no issues of glare or anything that like are blocking anything. And it also looks like I can't really find it. Like examples where I'm finding that are using actual glasses and have like bright lights on them. It's still kind of like not really dispersing the light or diffracting the light at all, which was the effect I was going for. So I'm wondering if like maybe I'm just like thinking too hard about the how the light is gonna work there. Like I'm going like a step too far. Like you see this like little diffraction? That's exactly what I was like planning on. Like, you know, like a little bit of glare here, and then like it going through the glasses here, where like the light kind of gets like dispersed and overly concentrated. Was the idea, but I'm gonna just extend on the plan a little bit too much, a little bit too complex. Don't worry about it. You know, just focus on everything else. Okay, sorry about the distraction. We're gonna finish this up in just a second. Oop. What in the world? What's going on? Oh, I have the white color. There we go. Hopefully that's not gonna cause any issues later down the line. Now the goal from here is just keep it like a very thin little reflective light. Just like a tiny little bit of edge lighting. Nothing too strong, nothing too distracting. Just tiny bit, tiny bit. That's pretty good. It's about, yeah, that's good. That's about all I need. And then the last thing I could think of, ooh, hold on. Maybe like a little bit here too, where the chest kind of pokes out. Just a little bit, just a little gleam. Perfect, I love that. Okay, and then I want to do like the watch. Because it's such a shiny material, like it's obviously going to catch a lot of light. There we go. There's a little sheen on it. I think that little like little stripe of light that I have on the face of the lens of his watch. This little glare that I have right here. I think that's a really nice touch. I started losing my mind for a second there. Oh, and I've completely skipped his glasses. That shouldn't be too hard. I think my plan was to like just draw through it so I could focus on the face, and then we would easily be able to just like knock the glasses out. Then I'm gonna save for later just doing like the glare on the glasses. We're just gonna keep it, pretend like it's completely transparent for now. Like, you know, like they're basically like a lot of the models that I was looking at earlier, like they just have fake glasses with no lenses, just so it doesn't disturb the lighting. But then later on we can just add a bit of glare, or we could keep it fake. That's also an option. Because, I mean, he is a vampire. But I think we're going to keep the glasses. I think they're going to be real glasses. We don't have to think too hard there. You know, like he's got like the Superman fake glasses kind of thing going. Or I guess Clark Kent. There we go. Blocked out. Then we just need to add the lighting to it, which would just be from the side and to the front. Ooh, I also didn't do anything for the nose. I remember keeping that in mind. We can also do the eye a little bit better. That should be catching a lot of light in there. A little bit there. Cut this out a little bit further. I'm probably gonna have to overpaint that eye a lot too, because it's got a very unique like material look. Because it's gonna be like a stone, basically, or stone, or like a really rough metal. I just remembered a band that I was looking forward to said they were gonna release an album like 4 days ago, and I didn't check that they did. The band is like Mahal or something, Mahal. It was one of those things that like just came up on Instagram and it just like instantly locked me in. And I hate when that happens too, because like I don't like when ads work, but it was a case where yeah, like it completely like worked. Because, you know, I really hate that feeling of like the internet changing to like suit my needs. Like I hate that feeling. Because, you know, like I know where it comes from. It's coming from them like buying my information and then using it to like modify all the websites around me. It's like a really like gross thing that everybody just like lives with. Or, you know, they use like some kind of other, you know, search engine and stuff that, you know, like I'm very comfortable with Google aside from that like big, you know, issue. All right. Oh yeah, and then I gotta finish the lighting on the glasses, so. Just a little bit right there on the rim. I just realized I can barely see the chat with my microphone here. which is fine. It's quiet tonight. I have considered moving to Mondays, not necessarily for like any like benefit other than there's like a game that's played every Wednesday at my local game shop, and I was just thinking like, you know what, there's not really any reason I'm tied to Tuesday. It's just what I chose as like a day in between, because sometimes my Mondays are a little hard for me to get up, so I wanted to like plan ahead and just be like, okay, it's actually like what I mentioned earlier, like my sleep schedule is a little bit like I need like a day to catch up on sleep. So Monday is like one of those days where it's like, if I didn't catch up on sleep on that Sunday, then that Monday is going to be ruined. So the Tuesday, it's like by then I'm usually like 100% back in gear, or, you know, pretty close to being back in gear. So like today I'm a little tired, but, you know, I'm not insanely tired. Like I still got up at like 12 or like 1. So like I'm not completely like all over the place, just falling apart. Just a little bit falling apart. Just a little bit at the seams falling apart. Okay. So now for the beard, we're just gonna keep it a little loose. I'm probably gonna do this again in the overpainting section, just to, so I'm not like locked into this section or that section. I'm not gonna render it too much. I just want like a little bit of like detail, so you can tell like, okay, this section's like, you can kind of like imply like the texture, what it's gonna be. Or sorry, the texture of the area. That's all I really want. I like completely skipped this section, so like none of it makes sense to me right now. This song's a little too astral for me. Much better. The song was fine, it was just a little bit too spacey, a little too loopy. Just not my vibe right now. Wait, yeah, what in the world? This section should be like, the lighting's like entirely wrong on this section. Oh, I guess because, you know, I switched the camera angle, or switched the lighting angle a bit. I'm gonna give it this thing a quick save. I don't know why. I think that like the paranoia just ate at me for a bit. I let the paranoia win this time. There we go. A little better. Then we can just like, now we gotta smooth out those shadows. that out, thin this part out. There we go, nice. Then I'm gonna add a little bit of shadow to the cheekbone where it curves away from the light, but it's also catching light from the other side, so it's gonna be very thin, very thin. And then the side light from the edge of the face, right there. Nice, 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 nice. All right, and then here, a little bit of a pocket where the wrinkle folds over the jowl. There, just a little bit there too. Trim that in. There we go. Then just a little bit of depth to the mustache. A little bit of depth here. We're gonna just trim all these sections out too. Just like that. I'm also gonna get like the edge of the beard too, because it's like I mentioned earlier, like it's kind of transparent around the edges of your hair. If it's not like a very thick, bushy part of it, that also kind of makes it so like it's not necessarily wrapping around the beard, but it's like shining through sections of the beard. So you'll see like the light peek out like a lot further than it would normally if it was like a completely like solid object. So you get like little peaks of light just like all around the beard up until like it really like cuts through like the solid part. So if you imagine where the chin would be, which would be like, I guess like right here without the beard, then, you know, like it basically like can wrap around just up until that little edge where the jaw actually comes in. And that's a solid object where it doesn't really penetrate. Maybe a little bit, because, you know, like there's a layer of skin, but not far, not far. Just realized this should all be like one section. Shouldn't be that harsh of a line against it, or of a sectioning off of it. There we go. Then just include like the same little hairs. Then we're gonna trim it right out, thin it out. Just enough texture that we need, nothing more. There we go, that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Oh, and then the ear. There's not really any of this ear that wouldn't be hit by light or have light shining through it. So I'm not sure where I would put any. Maybe just like a little here, a little bit here, and then I guess right here where it like edges away from the light. Nothing too much. Yeah, that's about it. Or even then. Oh, and I guess here too. There wouldn't be like a lot of light. It'd just be like a little bit of light shining through it. So maybe just like a little bit of a gap there. Get a little bit of warmth. There we go. So that is pretty much everything. We went a little bit over 1030, but just barely. Let's take a zoom out to see if there's anything else I noticed. Oh, my back. Let me tweak just the little ridge that I have on his head. How do I have it on the light? Interesting. Since we moved it, we're gonna something like that. This would remind me of is it the Childish Gambino song? Oh, my lover or something like that. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. It goes a little further on the Childish Gambino song. It's like just referencing enough of it for people to get it, but it's like I wouldn't say like ripping directly from it. It's more of like a similar. Speaking of, there's like there's a song that really drove me nuts because it came up on like a quiz, which was like trying to recognize it. I thought it was Paralyzer, but apparently it's almost like directly the exact same song as from like Franz Ferdinand, and I got so upset about it because it's like it's the exact same song. Like the lyrics are different, but that's it. Like the exact same like dun 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 dun. It's like you're standing still. It's a pretty catchy song and I like it, but then when I found out it's like literally an exact copy, I was like, come on, man. Should I put a little bit of a reflective light just on this edge? Just a little bit. Let's see how that looks. I'm just adding a little bit of a gleam on each of the wrinkles up here. This might be a step that we also one of those things that I just like ended up erasing. I think we gotta add a little bit more light here. Just like right there. I think that's probably it. Just like I want to add like a little sliver of this thing here. But I'm also trying to not make it like so like erased that it like doesn't show up at all. It's like a very thin little line just to suggest like a little ridge of like the scalp line basically. Again, trying to avoid gradients, but sometimes you just, you know, especially for like round areas, you kind of just need it. I'm gonna leave it that there. We're just gonna keep it there and just see how long until it drives me nuts. All right. So we're brightening it up this area a little bit further, a lot further actually. We're almost there. Well, I'm almost there. I guess we. You can say we. I'm unsure in the credit. There'd be nothing if there wasn't people to see it. Oh, I'm losing it. I'm losing the steam. There we go. Now I think we're good. Okay, hold on. I just said that and then immediately I'm like, are we though? Kind of just want to just trim those off. Just like the very like top most wrinkles. There we go. Now I think I'm good. Okay, I keep saying that. I need to shut up. No. Okay, hold on. We're gonna just try it out and then we're gonna see where it goes. Nah, okay. Just want to check. Hang on one second. There we go. Okay. Now we got it. All right. No, I think there's legitimately nothing else that I want to do. At least as far as the shading goes. If there is, I'll just have to come for next stream because right now I can't really think of anything that I want to fill in. All right, one last little thing. I'm just noticing all these like gaps that are getting really on my nerves. There we go. Just fill it all in. I don't know why there's so many like tiny little gaps in this section. Okay, now we're done. Oh, let me turn off all the layers, all the black and white stuff. Is it this one? Yes. Then the other one, we can keep it like that. Actually, no, let's turn this one normal. Just so it fits in with all the other thumbnails later down the line. And we're gonna put the flats underneath it. Oh, we're gonna turn those on. Yeah, that's fine. Ah, crap. I just realized what I'm missing. All right, let me spend like 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, okay? I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, but I just remembered the eyebrows. It's just a little bit of dusting of eyebrow. That's all we gotta do. That's on an eraser. Just to like right here, and to like right here. Okay, that was the last one. All right, now we're done. Let me turn on the lights. Pop, pop. That's weird. Oh, this was supposed to be like an overlay or something, wasn't it? Screen? What's going on? Why is it not? Why does it just look really weird? Yeah, we're gonna do it like that. That actually looks pretty cool. All right. What else? Golden Glow, Moonlight. I think that's about it. Oh, I forgot to do. Okay, there's one last little mod deep I want to finish, but that we can do it next stream. We have all the streams in the world to finish that because it's the one last one that I got in the bag. All right, let me center it. There we go. All right, so that's what we got finished today. So we're gonna need another like 3 streams, I think, if I had to guess. Ooh. Well, we managed to get done with the main rendering of the piece. So next week we're gonna be doing the gradient maps. So we're gonna just quickly cut out all the different sections of the piece. So the sections of the character. So his jacket, his hat, his skin, and then we're also gonna cut the shadows out. So they're a combined layer of just of the shadow and the color. So like what we see now. And then we're gonna use a gradient map in order to. Oh, that was gross. We're gonna use a gradient map in order to figure out what color and shading and like play with the lighting a little bit more. So we have like a very complex tool to quickly enhance the colors and shadows of each different aspect of the piece. Then we should be able to get started on the background from there. So next week, gradient maps and flats, and then we're also going to should be getting started on the background. And that way we can work out the lighting as like one of the last levels or one of the last like steps. All right, so that's going to be it for today. Ooh, a second to stretch. All right, yeah, that's going to be it for today. That's going to be it for the week. As far as I'm aware, I don't have anything coming up on any of the Tuesdays for like the next year, as far as I can think of. Yeah, like I can't really think of anything coming up on Tuesdays for like the next couple months. Ooh, my friend's birthday is coming up in May. All right, but other than that, I'm gonna be here every Tuesday. I am considering going to Monday. I've been considering that for a while, but if that changes, I'll let you know on at least like 2 or 3 streams in advance. So right now, still not thinking about it, or still not going to make that move. But I'm thinking about it. It's in the back of my mind. We'll see. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this week. Make sure. I'm trying to think of the lines. Okay. So yeah, finishing up. Thank you for watching the stream. Whether that was for the entire stream or you just watched a little bit of it, you stopped in for a minute just to say hello, or you are catching up on the live stream. Sorry, not the live stream. You're catching up on the archive video that goes up on the YouTube channel later. I really appreciate anybody taking the time to just hang out and chill and just watch my art. If you enjoy my art, it really means a lot to me to have people see the stuff that I spend all this time creating, all these stupid characters that I love. And just, you know, be interested and show some appreciation for it. Like, it really means a lot to me. But if you want to keep up to date on any of my activities, any further streams, any updates to that kind of thing, make sure to check out my Instagram. That's where I'm most active. So if you want to see any of my finished artwork, almost everything goes up on my Instagram. If you want to see anything that happens in my life, I'll usually end up posting about it on my Instagram. It's mostly art, so don't worry if you're like kind of the type of person that gets kind of annoyed by people who post too much, like stuff that has nothing to do with what you follow them for. I usually keep it to my art and maybe just a meme every now and again, some stuff about what I'm doing, like if I'm on vacation in another state or country, it'll be up there. So yeah, Instagram. DeviantArt. I also have a DeviantArt if you want to see some of my older pieces or some extra pieces of work that I don't think are good enough to post onto my Instagram. I'll usually end up posting it to DeviantArt. There's not too many of those, but it doesn't really happen, but when it does happen, it usually goes up on my DeviantArt. It's a little behind, but that should be fine. I like to keep a little bit of distance of what's on DeviantArt and then what's on Instagram. So eventually I'll start posting on there again. I mean, probably when I start posting on Instagram again as well. So keep an eye on that. You can also see some of my older artwork if you want to see some of the embarrassing stuff that I had back in like middle school, high school. If you want to see the progress of where I came from, as well as like really embarrassing poetry that's still there, but it is, you know, stuff that I created, so there's no reason to really delete it. And I'm also pretty active on DeviantArt, so if you want to see, you know, some of my art and hang out and anything like that, I'm not very active as far as like messages. I'll message you if I can, but DeviantArt is not really like a great place for social media aspect. It's more of just like an art collection for me, where I collect other people's art and then collect my own artwork for other people to use as references. Art is better when everybody can like communicate with each other, share inspiration with each other, and really like make each other better. You know, like references, tutorials, all that kind of thing. So I also mentioned earlier, but I have YouTube channels. I have two. There's the archive channel where the entire stream is uploaded onto YouTube for posterity. You can watch the entire thing through and, you know, see what you missed last week, previous weeks, or maybe earlier art pieces that maybe you're interested in the entire process. If you're not interested in any of those and you want something a little bit more short, I do also have a time-lapse YouTube channel, which is the entire the entire stream made into more digestible 4 to 5 minute chunks. This past Monday, one of them went up. I think it's around like 4 minutes or 5 minutes. And if you want to catch up that way, that's also like an option for you there. Just like a quick 5 minutes refresher before you go into the next stream. I also do what I like to call supercuts, and those are really interesting. So supercuts are basically all of the streams of a piece from their very, very first little sketch lines to the last little touches. I compile them all together into maybe like 12 to 15 minute chunks. They're very interesting to watch. They're very fun to watch. You get to see the entire process and my entire like evolution as a piece goes along, as far as like a composition. So keep an eye out for those. Those are really interesting. I love editing those, and I love seeing everything come together. It almost makes it look like I know what I'm doing, even when I definitely don't. And then what else do we got? So those are the two YouTube channels. If you would like me to do a commission for your art, if you want me to do like a D&D character, I've done hundreds of D&D characters for people. If you want me to do a Vampire the Masquerade character like you see over here, or any just, you know, maybe Batman, maybe Chainsaw Man, maybe an OC that you had sticking around for a little while, I've definitely done that for people too. Take a look at the little sheet down below. That's usually my rates. We can go a little higher, a little lower. You know, you can just discuss with me through email or Instagram. Those are the two that are probably best to connect with me at. If you don't really, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Just try to include that you're not a bot. Like, just talk a little bit about what you like about my art, what you hope from my art. If you want me to do a commission, or just, some aspect that makes it very obvious that you're not a bot, because all of these websites have bots all over the place. Like Instagram is a nightmare trying to figure out who is and isn't a bot that's trying to advertise me. The amount of freaking bots that I have are like, are you lonely? Like, oh, do you want to go out on a date? I've seen you from this website and you want to get out? And it's like, it's not even like close. Like it's not even remotely convincing. But point is, try to include a little information about what you want or what you like about my art, so it feels a little bit more like, okay, this could actually be a real human being that I'm talking to. Help me out, help you out. And then finally, if you don't want to go through the trouble of going through a whole commission and you just want to make a quick donation to support my channel, to support what I do here and my art in general, I have a PayPal link down below. Any little bit that you can go give towards that just really helps me. 1 second. A little distracting. Just whatever you can donate, it would go a long way to making me feel appreciated and that my time spent here is being valued. Like I mentioned before, I don't really do this for money. I just like to be able to hang out, and really what I like to do is just be able to share. But I also have hopes of one day transitioning to doing art full time, and being able to support that financially is a big ask. So, whatever you can do to help support that, or they would also go to improvements towards either my art with new devices, with new paints, materials, or it would also go towards improving the channel with microphones, cameras, lighting, all that kind of stuff. So just whatever you want to donate. Again, no pressure, just whatever you would like to do. I think that's about it. Yeah, that should cover pretty much everything. But anyways, I had a good stream. I'll see you guys next Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully that doesn't change, and then maybe like 30 minutes if I'm late, but hopefully that doesn't happen. This traffic was just the only thing that slowed me down this week. I think that's pretty much it. But anyways, hope you guys have a good day. Again, thanks for being here, and I hope you have a good night. That was way louder than it needed to be. I'm sorry. Bye. Good night. Bye.